Women's Kiwi Voice. Thanks for taking the time to hang out with us today as we've got another news roundup for you. We've got a couple of articles to get through, as well as some local, when I say local, some news from Dunedin today, so up-to-date happenings in terms of protests, etc., with the Freedom and Rights Coalition. Before we dive into that, though, you'll notice, obviously, and I mentioned this a number of times, is the Send Stars button on any of our lives or videos that we post on Kiwi Voice. Now, at the moment, there is a promotion going on with Facebook where there's free stars to give away. I encourage you to sign up for that and flick those our way if you support what it is that we do. Thanks, everyone, for taking the time to hang out with us. So we're continuing to try and improve the experience with movements around this live streaming software. So we'll give you a bit of a ticker there as well. Let's test that one out. But we're going to use a presentation as well today to cover off the news that we've got at hand. So let's dive into it. We'll jump over here. Let's turn this thing on. The Daily Examiner reports on the government's announcement this week with their headline, State Announcement May Soften Public Minds for Return to Red Lockdowns and Mandates. So-called new measures were announced this week through a press release from Labor in response to cases increasing, albeit from a much higher number earlier in the year, as well as hospitalisations for COVID being much lower than earlier in the year as well. So the statement actually said New Zealand is to, this is from the government, New Zealand is to remain at orange as case numbers start to creep up. 50 child-sized masks made available to every four. Sorry, I have to reread that one, the lunacy. 50 child-sized masks made available to every year 4 to 7 student in New Zealand. Continuing to push the mask mandates, well, not mandates, but push the mask wearing as a good thing to happen, specifically for year 4 to 7 students. We've got hundreds and hundreds of studies that we can easily pick from to tell us that that is a futile waste of time. 20 to 30,000 masks provided a week to all other students and school staff, extra funding to schools and early childhood services to support better ventilation over the winter months. Now, I don't know how many of you out there have got children. I'm sure plenty. Don't know what the stories are coming home from your school, but I definitely get stories of sitting by cold windows, heaters blaring, windows open. It's just the logic. Once again, as I've said in the past, it's gone. Free flu vaccine made available to all children ages 3 to 12 years old. Reinfection advice amended. Anyone who experiences symptoms 29 days or longer after previous infection should test and will need to isolate if they test positive. So in reality, this is a combination of tweaking to actually try and reduce pressure on the health system, along with a dose of political virtue signaling to keep the afraid population happy. Traditionally, on the left, as we all know, health in New Zealand isn't critically short of staff in both the frontline nurse and doctor situation, with underpaid and overworked nurses and doctors now working, putting in the hours. We love you guys, nurses and doctors out there on the front line, doing what you can to keep the situation under control in New Zealand. Much love comes from us out to you, but the situation is dire. They're working much longer hours amid 6 to 8 hour waits at some EDs. Anecdotal stories of this across the country, while thousands of mandated workers sit at home and visa rules stay put. So yeah, absolute lunacy. Staying on COVID for a moment though, let's get this back up, this presentation back up there. Move along to the next one for us. There is a great article in the BFD, worth a read, from Daniel Nuccio. Now, hope I've got that right, Nuccio, of brownstone.org, a PhD in biology at Northern Illinois University, where he studied host microbe relationships. Okay. The trials of LA's unvaccinated city workers. It's a really well-written piece, this one. It covers the situation still in play, would you believe, for the employees of what is essentially the LA City Council. They continue to refer to it as city workers. It goes into detail around Ordinance 134. We'll get that up there. No, I've gone one too far. Hang on. Okay, so yes, it goes into detail around Ordinance 187-134, passed and approved by the Los Angeles City Council and Mayor Eric Garcetti in the summer of 2021. The ordinance henceforth required all current and future city employees of LA to be vaccinated for COVID-19, barring approval for a medical or religious exemption. So when talking numbers, as this slide indicates, Mr. Nuccio reports in November 2021, there were reports of around 777 LA City employees either on unpaid leave or vulnerable to being placed on unpaid leave due to non-compliance with the mandate, although this number gives no indication of how many city employees were still in the process of working to attain an exemption or which type of exemption they were pursuing. So you'll see there on the top half of that slide, back in September 2021, LA Daily News reported on a memo from Mayor Eric Garcetti's office sent to elected officials that indicated 6,000 of LA's nearly 60,000 city employees. I mean, that number itself is madness. 60,000 city council workers for a city of 14 million plan to seek an exemption, while an additional 24,000. So if you've got 6 and 24, that's 30. Correct me if my maths are wrong. That's half of the LA City employees have failed to meet an early deadline to report their vaccination status. Why the bloody hell should they? I would say. So, interesting read, worth getting amongst it. The BFD is a great place to go and check out an alternative news source. Something that's been happening today, and I've got a further message, so we might chuck an additional report up on Kiwi Voice as well. The Freedom and Rights Coalition have headed down to Dunedin for a march stand down there, and in response, WOOFBAR, now a far left, I would say, a far left ideologically driven bar is how I've described it in my notes here. Yes, you read that right, a bar in central Dunedin, which requires a vaccine pass for entry. Yeah, that is absolutely correct. It shows it on their Facebook profile, when in reality it's, I just thought that it would have been left in times past, but no, they enforce it. They require you to show your vaccine pass to get into this bar. Wow. They have organised a counter-hate rally for today in Dunedin. Stand with us against disinformation and hate groups who are rallying in our city. I encourage you, if look, keep it respectful. Absolutely. By all means, get amongst the comments in there. Go and check it out. They've left it up. All power to them. The conversations got fairly gnarly, with significant accusations being thrown around by these guys towards the Freedom and Rights Coalition. It all seems ungrounded from where I sit, and my experience in dealings with the Freedom and Rights Coalition. But when questioned on multiple occasions for proof of said accusations, none was produced. Derek Tate and the team down there did think it was appropriate to get in front of the crowd. So that's Dunedin's Antifa, with the Freedom and Rights Coalition supporters sitting in front. You'll see the clear, unfortunately, this is quite a poignant photo. If I was to put some more weight on it, that probably wasn't expected when I look at it for the second or third time. It's a real clear sign of the division that's showing in New Zealand at the moment. You've got the people in back there with every single one of them masked, showing aggression. There's hands in the air. There's multiple people flicking the bird. And apparently that's Hari Atu fascist trash. And yeah, then we've got the freedom fighters in the front looking relaxed, mask free. That is, as I say, quite a poignant photo description of what's happening in New Zealand society at the moment. It's a real shame, team, real shame. But good on those guys both for letting their voices be heard. We're all about freedom of speech on here. There is further video that I have been sent by Derek as well. I don't think I've got it on the presentation here. Let's have a look, see. Did I actually get that in? No, I didn't, but that's okay. where they are walking around and their chants are going, but space is being kept. I don't know whether that's due to their requirement for social distancing or otherwise, but it's all fairly respectful in the protest sense. But yeah, check out that Facebook page and keep it respectful. Moving on from what's happening in Dunedin there, Stuff reports on richest billionaires to lose 1.4 trillion in worst half year ever. Tesla founder Elon Musk's fortune plunged almost $62 billion in 6 months. Amazon founder Jeff Bezos saw his wealth tumble by about $63 billion. Mark Zuckerberg's net worth was slashed by more than half. All told, the world's 500 richest people lost 1.4 trillion. In the first half of 2022, a dizzying decline that marks the steepest 6-month drop ever for the global billionaire class. You know what? Who gives a flying F, if I could be so blunt? Moving on from that there, New Zealand Herald has decided to pick up on Jacinda Ardern's continued trip through Europe, and obviously London's part of Europe, Europe and the UK. Jacinda Ardern reminisces on her OE, but warns Britain of growing unrest in Pacific, blah, blah, China influence, blah, blah. We get an extended visa now, though, so more Kiwis can bugger off for longer, adding to our brain drain. Moving along there. Sorry, we just got a little bit of a pause. Here's Ardern returned to the theme of the OE in a speech she gave to the famous British Policy Institute at Chatham House in the afternoon. Some other meeting of elites, completely out of touch, pretty standard stuff. So, you know, what is that going to help us? Virtue signaling on an international stage, I would say. And that is a black screen, so we will flick that off. That is us, team, for the roundup for today. I hope you've enjoyed the new format, getting a handle on the live stream software. I think it definitely makes it a better experience. Appreciate all 32 of you that are watching now and those that have up to this point. Jump in the comments below. Remember, if you love what we do, get on board with the STARS system. It seems to be where we're getting our most donations. Of course, there is yourkiwivoice.co.nz/contribute if you want to contribute to a specific area of our development. We do need funding to continue this thing, I have to admit, team. We want to put more into this. It is still only 2 of us. Plenty of options available to us there, but I believe there is a promotion on with the STARS system in Facebook at the moment. If you've got, have a look at that. You may get some free stars to throw around for the next few days. And by all means, if you've got nowhere better to throw them, send them at Kiwi Voice. Thanks, everyone. Stay safe, stay free. Appreciate you hanging out. We'll see you again real soon.